I have the honor of introducing on your behalf. Over the years, the annual Scholars Conference has recognized individuals whose words and actions endeavor to assure that we remember the violence, the murder, what happened to the Jewish men and women and children during the Holocaust, and that also work to make sure that we're trying to build a better world, a better place for others to live and dwell with one another. And some of the past recipients are listed in your programs, but I think we'll ask them to come up a little bit later for some photographs. But right now we want to honor one person who meets these very special standards. And I think you all know that our recipient, the Reverend Dr. Martin Rumscheidt, is a child of Nazi Germany who has wrestled for a good portion of his adult life with that legacy. He has wrestled with that legacy personally, professionally, relationally, and in ways that have instructed others. And the best way I know to suggest understanding what that long wrestling match has been like for Martin is to compare it to the story of Jacob in the book of Genesis. A long night of wrestling with a legacy that was for Jacob, a legacy of shame. And it was a wounding wrestling that left him with a limp. And there's something about the integrity and authority of people who limp, whose gait lets you know that they've struggled with significant issues. And they've let that struggle become something that is an offering for others. It is part of the witness they bear about what it means to be a human being in relationship with other human beings. And Martin Rumscheidt, my friend, it gives me a great, great joy to ask you to come up and receive the annual Scholars Conference Award. On behalf of my colleague, Martin Rumscheidt, I present to you the Eternal Flame Award, and we are grateful for you and for your limp.
Should this moment be a early spring night dream, please don't wake me up. When my teacher in theology, Karl Barth, turned 80, there was a big celebration in Basel, and a good number of people were attending. And when Bart finally got up and he said, "Enough accolades, please, I want to speak," which is what I want to do now, he said the following: "I think of myself as a distant cousin of the donkey who carried Jesus a little way further into Jerusalem. He said that in German, and later on when I was translating that sentence into English, I was wondering what could I say about that donkey. Then I remembered that in the Bible occasionally we speak of it as an ass. So Karl Barth used the phrase that I'm now wanting to use. I think of myself as a little asslet, like that I have been able to carry the work of this conference and in other areas a little bit further. I want to use a distinction that Elisabeth Maxwell uses between le souvenir and la mémoire. The French terms are beautiful and exact that make it difficult to translate. But what she says is le souvenir is remember events of which you were yourself a part. You remember what happened to you. Le souvenir. La mémoire is what are we going to do with this? And so I've been able to carry as a little asslet a long distance relative of that same donkey. I've been able to carry la mémoire further. And I want to say to you that when I look around the room tonight, I am so glad that I see before me many of you, because of your younger age, who are carrying forward la mémoire. I'm not going to walk out of the field yet, but I'll be on the field with you. And I'm really pleased to see so many into whose good hands I can commit the work of la mémoire. I want to quote a line or two from Friedrich Schiller that Beethoven incorporated into the Ninth Symphony, into the final movement. The German phrase is, seid umschlungen Millionen, diesen Kuss der ganzen Welt. Be hugged, you millions, and this kiss for the whole world. Tonight I don't want to embrace the whole world, but I want to embrace you. Be hugged, my friends, and this kiss is for you. But when you go home, if you want to call me an ass, do that, but don't add anything else to that word. Thank you.